Welcome to your midweek word. It's Pastor Morgan here in the chapel, and I wanted to let you know that this week and next week, you're going to have more of an update than a devotion. And that's the great thing about our midweek words, is that we get to have a different avenue of sharing what's going on in our congregation's life. And so Pastor Ian last week noted that we are going to begin a lay leadership structure assessment, evaluation, dreaming, exploration period. Today you're going to be hearing from Erin Gangloff, one of our co-moderators, Bill Warren, Chair of Resource Management, and Jim Comstock, Chair of Nominating Committee. You're going to hear from Erin around the collective experience of what led us here. You're going to hear from Bill about a new way he's proposing to do resource management. And you're going to hear from Jim about the process of what nominating looks like with our annual meeting coming up at the end of January. Our hope with each of these updates is that you feel informed, that you are included in the process. And if you have any questions, that you know who to touch base with. For today, if you have any questions, you can obviously come to any of the pastoral staff, but you can also go to Erin, Bill, or Jim themselves. We are grateful for the lay leadership we have here at Calvary, and we look forward to what is to come as we continue to lean in to the insights we gleaned during our time of discernment. We are grateful to hear from Erin first.
Hello, Calvary. I'm Erin Gangloff, co-moderator, and on behalf of myself and my other co-moderator, Rick Breitenbecker, I would like to thank you all for journeying with us this past year through discernment, for entrusting us and all of our lay leaders with the process and everything that is discussed and has come out of it during this time. As Pastor Ann mentioned last week, that we, lay leadership and pastoral staff, will be entering into an intentional time of assessing, dreaming, and exploring what lay leadership fits at Calvary and what's best during this time, as well as planning for our future. And I'd like to share with you how we arrived at that decision as one of the co-moderators, members of the discernment process, and the Insight leadership team. I think it's best for you to know where this is coming from. First of all, Calvary, you should be proud of your current lay leaders. They work tirelessly to ensure that the best is happening here at Calvary for all of its members. So during the past few months, we've had several questions that have come up during council about roles and responsibilities of what at-large members do, committee chairs, committees. How does council and the Insight leadership team communicate? At the September council meeting, 3 questions really came up. What is best for Calvary? What should the structure of leadership look like? Do we need to hit pause and figure this out? Council agreed that it is time to hit pause, to bring in a facilitator to help us with this process. We know that it is not a simple overnight change, especially during our busiest time of year. We also understand that this could cause a change to our current bylaws and that we will be asking our current leadership to stay on a little bit longer than expected, especially for those who have terms that are ending. Calvary, we have fantastic lay leaders here. And ultimately, we just want the best to come from our lay leadership and how we work with our pastoral staff to better serve our church, to make us an agile church. Also, we hope to discover along the way even more talented lay leaders that sit among us that maybe have not been asked yet. So, as we go into this process here in November and we start working with a facilitator, we will keep you updated. We will let you know what is going on. And we hope that if you have questions, that you feel that you can reach out either to myself or to Rick, and that this is well. And we also hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week.
We'll now hear from Bill about a restructuring proposal he made that helped spur kind of the curiosity around how our committees are structured.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bill Warren, and I'd like to speak with you briefly today about a proposal that I submitted to the Calvary Church Council that included plans for a restructure of the Resource Management Committee, how it functioned, and also how its budget worked. First off, the size and age of the Calvary campus is dictating some of this. The campus is aging, it's requiring more maintenance now, and one of the things included in the proposal was splitting the responsibilities for maintaining our property amongst two people instead of just one single individual. There's a couple of different models for this, and I'll get into this in a minute. The workload is becoming pretty severe, and I think it would be better served by two different people who had different areas of responsibility. And the way I've delineated this has been between the interior of the building and the exterior of the building. At certain times of the year, the exterior of the building requires more attention, but that kind of comes in waves. But the interior of the building needs attention almost all the time. The other issue that I'm trying to address is that of how we handle our budgeting. The chairperson of resource management has been responsible for devising the annual budget. This is kind of problematic because a lot of the expenses that come in are never seen by the chairperson of resource management. They go to the facilities operation manager, in this case Chad, and they are then processed by accounting and paid. So even though I devised the budget for this year and for the past several years, and my predecessors before me, the payment of funds for various financial commitments is pretty much invisible until well after the fact. So one of the things that's different now is that we have a full-time facilities operations manager. We did not have that previously, and it's been quite a while since we have. So back to the issue of approaches to managing the building, taking care of the repairs and so forth. I submitted a couple of different ideas and followed it up with a recommendation that these be reviewed, and ultimately perhaps a third idea would come out of that. One of the ideas was a ministry team approach where you'd have an interiors coordinator and an exteriors coordinator, in addition to IT tech and a security coordinator, that all reported to the facilities operations manager. That was one of the proposals. You can get more details on this from the office if you care to read up on it. The other proposal was a resource coordinator's approach. That would really be a team where you have an interiors coordinator and an exteriors coordinator. A lot of the activities would still be coordinated by the interiors coordinator, but this gives us the opportunity to peel off the exteriors coordinator and move those responsibilities away from the person who's currently has oversight of resource management as a whole and lessen some of that workload. And again, you can get more information on this from the office. But finally, just to summarize this, it would streamline the interoperability with the facilities operations manager staff position. It would remove duplication of responsibilities and parallel efforts between resource management and the facilities operations management. It would reduce the work expectations for the chair of resource management by dividing coverage responsibilities, reduce the number of layers of volunteers to go through to accomplish work without sacrificing oversight, and place management of funds directly under the organization's agent most able to efficiently manage them. It would apply a management template that more accurately reflects resource management's current operating model, and it would maintain qualified individuals in critical positions. So that's a high-level overview, and if you have any questions, again, get with the office to get a copy of this recommendation, or speak to me. I'd be happy to chat with you. This is Bill Warren signing off.
And now we'll hear from Jim Comstock, so we know kind of what the changes will be to our annual meeting and the nominating ballot and what that looks like.
Hello, Calvary. I'm coming to you today as the chair of the nominating committee. You've recently heard from Pastor Ann about the upcoming plans for lay leadership and pastoral staff to take a deep look together about new possibilities for our lay leadership structure. In order to provide the time and space for that to happen, we need to make some adjustments to our current leadership expectations. I want to share that plan with you. I've been in touch with each of the Calvary leaders whose term of service would be ending in January 2024. I asked them to extend their term of service until the spring of 2024. This will allow time for this structure review process to occur. I was so grateful that all of these leaders, with the exception of one individual I haven't been able to reach, have agreed to this extension. As a result, the nominating ballot that you will see in January as part of our annual meeting will reflect this plan. It's an exciting time for us. I'm happy to be a part of a church community that is active and engaged and willing to continue to learn and grow together. Please reach out to Pastor Ann or me with any questions. Thanks.
So, Calvary, you've been able to hear from some of your own lay leaders what we're leaning into in this upcoming season. We have chosen our outside facilitator through our lay leadership's approval. Jason Whitehead will be our facilitator, and you'll get to hear from him next week. If you have any questions, like I said at the beginning, you can contact any of the pastoral staff, but you can also contact any of these amazing lay leaders who are helping lead and shape this process. We are grateful to each of you and how you create our community here at Calvary, and how we continue to lean into the insights you shared with us during our discernment season this past Lent. As we continue with these updates, allow yourself to ask the questions. What is the best lay leadership structure? How can I be praying for those in these conversations? And if at any point you have questions, know that we want to answer them as best as we can. Go forth into this week praying for all who are in this process, praying for our stewardship season, and praying for our collective community as we seek to respond to the pains and struggles in the world, as well as celebrate with each other with the ways that we get to embody joy. May we go forth proclaiming that it is well at Calvary Baptist Church of Denver.